What? And we are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. Anyone coming in at this time, thank you so much. Anybody watching this on the replay, really appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3K. We just cleared it to 800. So
yeah,
we're trying to grind. It was a tall task, but it's possible. So subscribe. What's going on, Jake? How are you?
I'm good, other than the weather being 17 degrees here. And I repeat, 17 degrees. That's like feet hurting and hand hurting weather. So hence the hoodie. I've been covered up. I've had 2 socks on all day, 2 pairs of socks. I'm not playing.
I believe it. Everyone,
How are you?
I have. I mean, it's actually not bad here where I'm at in beautiful Las Vegas. It's what it says. It's 56 right now. So that's not bad.
I would love that right now.
Yeah. Oh no, it says it's 50 right now. You know, a little cold, but no, I know in some parts, like on the East Coast right now, they have like a really bad storm and all kinds of stuff coming in. I know it's kind of rough right now, but as long as everyone's safe, as long as everyone's inside, stay inside, all that stuff. So but did you hear first thing I wanted to talk about is the Anthony Davis news. Did you hear about the Anthony Davis news by any chance?
I did not.
So it might not be as bad as we thought it was. So Anthony Davis is supposed to be reevaluated in 7 to 10 days. So originally it was a month. It doesn't seem like it's severe. He doesn't have it says that he has a stress in his foot, which makes you think stress fracture, right? Because that's usually what that means. But apparently, based on the reports we got today, that there's no break or tear. They're likely waiting for the swelling to go down. They're gonna try to ramp him up in about a week or so and see if he can come back. So if that can happen, that's good news, right? Because that means the Lakers have a real shot to maybe go on a run, especially if they could weather the storm a little bit with the easier schedule. Russ is back tonight.
Yes, he is.
So that's good too. So hopefully Russ, we can get a big game from Russ. And yeah, I mean, look, AD, we've said it all season, and we'll continue to say it. We go as far as Russ as far as AD takes us, right? So
I was gonna be like, hold up,
no, as far as AD takes us. So if AD can stay healthy, he can stay, at least a majority of the season. He's gonna miss games, right? That's the thing, and that's the thing that I try to get across, even on like as it stands Lakers. He's like players miss games, right? It's gonna happen, but it's the amount of games. Like obviously, if he's missing, an entire season, or he's missing several, weeks, or 2 months, 3 months, something like that, that's when it becomes a problem. Because it's like now he's out basically, the entirety of the season or a majority of the season. He definitely has to be on the court more than he's missing, and that's a real concern as of the last few seasons. But when he is on the court, he is an absolute monster. He's arguably the best player in the world when he's on the court. So hopefully in the next week or so, he can kind of get back into the swing of things, and we could be in a position of success. Right, like that's the goal. But what are your thoughts on the whole AD thing, and like what do you want to see? And then we'll dive into some couple other things. But
well, first and foremost, I'm definitely glad it's not as bad as it could have been. Just because you hate to see a player get injured, especially a really good player, and B, we love AD, we need AD, especially on this team. Again, I agree with you. I don't understand the narrative that, let's trade AD. I think we all need to understand that the value that AD brings to this team is immeasurable right now. Without, him, where are we going to go?
You're not going to get fair value either.
Well, yeah, that and okay. But even besides the value point, it's we're not going to make it to first round of playoffs if we trade AD, depending on who we trade him for. But, it doesn't make any sense. In my eyes. And looking at this game tonight, Charlotte, even though he's not playing, speaking of trade, just really quick, I just wanted to kind of divert just for a split second. How much of this game is kind of how when we played Indiana. It was like Miles Turner
No,
and Buddy
Hornets.
Hield.
Is it a
Yeah,
tryout?
exactly. How do you think this is fair since he's not playing right now? Because I know that's the big talk since AD's not playing. Is it like kind of
I don't. I mean, I don't see the problem. The problem with the Hornets deal, like it's been rumored for so long, but like it's been rumored since the offseason, but we've never had like any real traction. Like the only trades we know for sure that had potential of happening was one, the Pacers deal. That was literally a deal that the Lakers turned down that they could have done. And then the other deal was the Spurs. But even the Spurs deal, that was back when Kyrie was still in play to the Lakers. And the Spurs were going to kind of be the middleman.
Yeah.
So for all we know, there might not even be a Hornets deal on the table. And it doesn't make any sense to do a Hornets deal now unless they give up PJ Washington.
Because of Hayward?
Well, no. Well, Hayward's back, so I don't know, maybe. But no, I mean,
I know, but it just doesn't. There's no point in now because he's just too.
Well,
he just came back from a fractured shoulder, so I mean,
you have to get PJ Washington. If you don't get PJ Washington, then it's a pointless trade. But good news is, and I actually want to make a video over on As It Stands Lakers about this. Good news is that the Hornets and Miles Bridges have started negotiations about bringing him back, about re-signing him. And that's good because if they do that, then that was the whole reason.
Bringing who back?
Bringing Miles Bridges back.
Oh.
And so the whole reason that they originally wanted to trade PJ Washington was because they had to pay Miles Bridges. So if you're going to pay if you're going to pay Miles Bridges again, then you're still in the same position to where it's like, well, we should probably unload PJ Washington. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So like if you were ever going to like tank and kind of blow it up, right now would be the time because you're in position to get Victor Wembanyama. If you land Victor Wembanyama, you have LaMelo Ball, Victor, and Miles Bridges for the next like 7 to 10 years. Like if you don't win at least a championship with that, I don't know what to tell you. But you're going to need to unload, Terry Rozier, PJ Washington. Guys, you're going to have to unload those guys. So no matter how you slice it, I just think that it kind of boils down to like a deal. Sooner or later, a deal will likely be made if that's the case, if it works out that way. But anyway, continue. I just wanted to answer your question.
How much do you think Victor is going to make coming in? Just if you just had to throw out a number, like
through brand deals or everything. Well,
no. I just not salary for a team. Dollars salary for a cap space.
Well, for a rookie is like it's what 5.6 million.
Is that the rookie? Is it a cap?
Like
rookie cap?
Yeah, it's like 5. Like you can't pay a rookie whatever you want. It's
Do you agree with that? Do you like that or no?
Yeah, because you don't want to have because rookies are so, like there have been number one
unpredictable.
Unpredictable. There have been number one draft picks that just turn out to be nothing.
Well, even look at Zion. Zion was great and is great, but you have to like the injuries too.
It would also screw everything up too, though. Yeah, because so, like, for example, right, like, you could have, like, let's say a team could pay whatever they wanted for a rookie.
Yeah.
Like, that could cause some players, I'd go to the Hornets in this draft, but next draft, I might go to the Knicks or the Lakers. So let me, you know what I mean? Like you get stuff like that. Also, it would affect salary cap space and all that. It would be a nightmare. So you got to have a salary, like a little cap for those guys. But endorsement deals, brand deals, stuff like that. I mean, he could be making $30 million a year when all is said and done. You know what I mean? Like easily, right out the gate.
Yeah.
Especially if he lives up to the hype, he could easily be making 20-30 million. So that's
he's for sure going to get the cap though, probably the rookie max.
Yeah, it's a set price. So like there's no like a team can't say, well, we're gonna pay you $2 million. Like it's literally like
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
yeah. So it's literally whatever. It's like it's a structured. So like usually because I believe it's like 3 years, it's something like 16 million over 3 years. So it's like for a number one pick, which he's gonna be the number one pick. So a number one pick, it's something like that, 16, 17 million. Basically, your first year, I think, is like 3.5, 4 million, and then it goes to like 5.5, 6 million, and then it goes to like whatever 8 million. Or whatever. You get like basically an annual increase, but it's guaranteed too. So, so you're guaranteed. Like even if you at least make $16 million for being being a top pick, and it's like it's the same thing for all of them. Like they have structure. The only ones that are different is if you're on a like if you're an undrafted or something like that. They have like the structured scales throughout it. So yeah, but yeah. Here, let's jump into the comments real quick, and then we'll because I do want to continue carrying on with the trades. Lakers need to trade with the Magic, Bamba, and Ross. I would love that. 80 will be back in 2 weeks. 80 just have pain. Yeah. I just got a notification too. Said something about 80. Woj just tweeted, NBA source, the pain has subsided in the past several days in Anthony Davis' foot. Oh, he's just replying. He already said this earlier. I mean, he did just reply, but he just basically is reiterating what he said earlier. That basically is going to, in 7 to 10 days, they'll have him reevaluated and see if he can return for play. For now, there's hope that a procedure can be avoided. So I guess he's feeling better, doing better. They don't believe he's going to need surgery, so that's good. But yeah, hopefully he will be back. Honestly, thinking about AD, says he could be okay to ramp up in 10 days, but Zion had a similar thing. It was done all season. Zion also was 100 pounds overweight, and he had stress fracture, if I'm not mistaken.
And he was dealing with the new stamina and everything that comes with coming into like the next level. He was used to, that different style of ball. So
and it was just precaution.
A little different scenario.
They were a terrible team. They had no reason to bring him back either. You know what I mean? So that's they too. Like, just sit it out next year. Kind of the same thing that Indiana did with Miles Turner last year. Miles Turner could have came back, and they were like, have a seat, relax. We're not a good team. No reason to rush back. Want a first for Bamba. Ain't going to happen. He ain't going to get a first. They ain't going to get a first from Mo Bamba. He's going to the Magic trade, but Rob can make the trade. He's going to do the Magic trade that has to. And 15 when Bamba can be traded. Yeah, it's very possible. Miles will be signed soon. Charlotte wanted to get him under control. Yeah, because they want him to do his suspension. As soon as Miles gets signed, Charlotte will call the Lakers for Russ to free up money. I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't be shocked by that either. What's going on? It's not Alex. How are you? Appreciate you being here.
What's up?
We're doing good. Just talking. As always, thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. But to touch on the trade front, I do think that if Charlotte can come to an agreement with Miles Bridges, I wouldn't be shocked if a Laker deal is something that's immediately gets discussed. Like, I'm not saying it'll get done right away, but I could see them start, making conversation. Like, hey, do you want to do this deal
without Hayward, right? So Oubre, Terry Rozier.
Hey, probably do Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, and PJ Washington.
Yeah, because I really hope. I don't think they're going to, but I would really hope they don't try to throw Hayward in the deal because I just don't see the point. You know what I mean? Not right now. Like,
if you were to take on,
if this was a year later and he maintained injury free, and he subsided through the shoulder, it's just you don't know how that shoulder is gonna fare. You know what I mean?
If you were to take on Hayward, I don't even know if it would work like that. But if you were to take on Hayward, you're not giving up any pick. You're giving up nothing, because you would be taking on all their salary. But I don't know because I'm I
No, no,
know.
no, no. But you're talking about with the 4, right? You're talking about with the 4,
Yeah,
though,
like so,
not.
like let's say the let's say that the Charlotte Hornets are like, we'll trade you PJ Washington, but we want you to take on um, Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward,
Yeah,
right? You have to get like, there's no picks involved. There is nothing. Like, you are taking those guys on, and that's that.
yeah,
Like, because you would, which you could do if I'm not mistaken, because you could do Russ, Patrick Beverly, and Kendrick Nunn, I believe, and then you'd probably throw in like you'd probably make them take on Damian Jones, just because Damian Jones has 2 years and you don't want him to hop in, which is
and this
only
is without first, or did you put first in there? No.
no, you would give up. No, there'd be no first, no nothing. So if you you could take on Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, and PJ Washington. So basically, clear their books entirely, and get for Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and Damian Jones, and the salary almost matches perfectly. You could even,
Yeah.
if you really wanted to, throw in Juan Toscano Anderson, and
Yeah.
and it's only a 500,000 difference. So like, yeah, so basically you're clearing all your dead weight, and you get Hayward, Rozier, Washington, and Kelly Oubre. If you don't have to give up any picks, I don't think that'd be the end of the world. I mean, you could make an argument they'd have to give you a pick.
Well, I just like to point out, I would like that trade. I would like that trade. It's just, yeah, I'm just worried about like chemistry fitting in, just a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but it's just we're in the kind of middle.
It's easier to, because none of these guys are stars, right? They're all.
I understand.
They're all role guys. It's easier to get role guys in than it is to get a star, right? It's easier to go from being a guy, because they're all second, third, fourth options already on the Hornets. So they would just be that on the Lakers, right? They'd be third, fourth, and fifth options rather than first, second, and third options, because Anthony Davis would be option one, LeBron would be option two, and then you'd have whatever, Hayward 3, Rozier 3, probably Hayward 4. But that gets you everything you need. You'd get 3 wing players in Washington, Oubre, and Hayward, and then you'd get like a scoring guard and Terry Rozier, which that would make sense, because now your only guards would be Dennis Schroeder and Terry Rozier. So those are basically your point guards. Austin Reeves could play point, and then you'd still have LeBron James, so he could be your point guard too. But you basically, like that, your starting 5 could be, I mean, if you really wanted, your starting 5 could be Rozier, Hayward, Kelly Oubre, LeBron, and AD, and then you'd still have PJ Washington, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves. Like you'd be like 10 players deep. Legitimate.
It's definitely a better team. Like knowing what we know, watching what we watch, it's a better team. But like on paper, you would have never thought like a year, maybe 2 years, you would look and say, why would you give up? You got Beverly, you got Westbrook. Why would you, But it's just, the thing is, the reality of the situation is that
crazy how quickly things change.
Yeah, exactly, and not to mention productivity and they're reviewing the last game right now.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy how quickly the tides can turn, so to speak. Like even last year, I mean, Patrick Beverly was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And now he can't get anything done. Jason coming in hot with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
The way the Lakers can salvage their season is make 2 small trades for Cam Reddish and Terence Ross. I truly believe that would help them as long as they move Bev and not. Yeah, like Terence Ross, I actually think is a very solid move. My problem with Cam Reddish, I love Cam Reddish, and I've been super. I don't, Jason, if you ever.
The guy's a beast.
Yeah, if you ever watch, my channel, As It Stands Lakers. Well, this is one of them too. But my individual channel, like I'm always talking about Cam Reddish and how high I am on Cam Reddish, and I love Cam Reddish. But he is a bit of a question mark, right? He's had history with, or questions, I should say, about like his commitment to the game, his work ethic, stuff like that. That's usually not a good sign. But also, all the locations and places that he's been, well, 2 places. Let me rephrase that so people don't think like, wait, where has he been? But like Atlanta, he got the chin end of the stick, so to speak, in Atlanta. Understandable. And then the Knicks, Tibbs didn't want him. So I really do believe if you give him a fair opportunity, a real chance, and a real shot, I really believe that he can be a guy that can be productive for you, but it's still a real question mark. Like I think that Cam Reddish needs to be the and Cam Reddish, if that makes sense. Like we got, Terence Ross, Gary Harris, Mo Bamba, and Cam Reddish, like if that makes sense, like something like that. I just don't think Cam Reddish by himself is the answer. That's just me personally. But I do think Terence Ross is kind of exactly what we need. Cheap, veteran, sizable shooting guard, shoot the 3 ball well, create his own shot, just go get a bucket, like all of those things. I think he's like everything you need from a role type player. So yeah, I definitely think that. But yeah, anything else you want to add, Jake, real quick?
No, you covered it all. Especially like you said, especially if we can move Beverly and Nunn.
Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
I do agree with you. It wouldn't be enough to, I would say, like, get us there, but it's a more or so step in the right direction.
Exactly.
As long as we don't we're not offloading like Russ for that or anything crazy like that. But if we can move like Beverly and Nunn, that would make more sense.
Yeah, I'm with you. Again, Jason, thank you so much. We really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'd personally rather start PJ over Hayward and have Hayward as a scorer off the bench, considering his injury history. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against that either. I mean, you could even make an argument for Lonnie Walker.
Well, you kind of have to. Like, you have to, like, Hayward can't. I don't know if he can't start, but it just, in his current state right now, just wouldn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, problem is even if he starts, you're probably not going to play. You're probably not playing the guy, 30 minutes a game, regardless. But
I would just ease him in through like the rest of the season, just like slowly, because it's not an injury you want to play with. Then see how he is towards the end.
Playing with LeBron, because I mean, it helps when you have a LeBron James. What's going on, Storm? Appreciate you being here. How are you?
What's up?
But yeah, I mean, look, we've talked about it before. The Hornets deal might actually be the best deal if it's a deal that can get done. Like in all seriousness, like it's a deal that, I mean, you solve everything. You solve your depth, solve all that stuff, and it makes sense, especially if they go sign Miles Bridges. Because if they sign Miles Bridges, then they're gonna have to unload guys, right? Because you're gonna pay Miles Bridges, you're gonna pay PJ Washington, and then you're stuck. Like that's your team. Even if you go get Victor Wembanyama, you're still kind of stuck. So.
Yeah.
No matter how you shake it, you're probably best suited for a Lakers deal. But again, and the Lakers can solve all of your, like literally all of your problems, right? They could take all of your salary, take all of your guys. Again, you could take Hayward, Rozier, Oubre, and Washington, right? Boom. But if it's me, I'm not giving you a pick.
But you're adding Beverly and Nunn to that too.
Yeah, to help you clear salary, because it's the only way it'd match. So, I mean, I'm not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I'm not giving you a first for one, and you basically would do a 4-for-4 swap, right? So you're basically swapping. You're basically taking Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, Terry Rozier, and Gordon Hayward for Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, Russell Westbrook,
and Jones,
Damian Jones, and JTA. Right, Juan Toscano Anderson. You're basically taking those four swapping teams, no picks. We're getting kind of like what the Knicks want to do with Cam Reddish, where if you take Evan Fournier, then we'll basically give you Reddish for free. is kind of what they're doing. If you can do a similar deal, then I'd do that. You get no picks, you get no nothing. You are giving us PJ Washington as like the asset to go and give us to take on all of that salary. Like that's how you would do it. Because like again, like you're taking on $150 million of future salary. Each of those players by themselves would probably cost multiple firsts to unload. The only reason the Lakers would do it and consider doing it is because they need those types of players, and you're not going to get those types of players anywhere else. So yeah, I mean, if you're that, like that's the big thing, Oh, sorry, I already got that one. Let's get wings, my brothers, and maybe another big, if reasonable offer comes up, like star, all-star. Yeah, I mean, if you could work it out. Like I said, if you can do the Hornets deal, it'd be nice to get another big, but I think you're fine. Because I just think you'd have enough talent, enough pieces. Obviously, ideally, maybe go get another, or maybe you could take PJ Washington and use him as maybe you could do a swap, PJ Washington for a Yakapurtle or something like that if you wanted to. I don't know if I would do that personally, but it's just an option to throw out there. Charlotte will have to give a first to the Lakers. That's a lot of money. And that's why I think PJ Washington would be the justification, right? Because PJ Washington's good enough and young enough. He would probably field a first round pick by himself or close to it. So it's kind of like what the Lakers are considering doing with Evan Fournier. Like we take on Evan Fournier, we get Cam Reddish for free. It's kind of the same thing. Yes, you're taking on so much more money, but PJ Washington's also more of a commodity. And all of those guys are better than Evan Fournier. Like you're kind of taking on Evan Fournier and hoping he's good. And if he is, then great. If he isn't, then you're kind of in trouble. But it's like, okay, well, we got Cam Reddish.
He's really hot and cold. Like
Well, he just is not the same player he once was. I mean, obviously, if you could get like Orlando Evan Fournier back, then you got a real stud on your hands. But realistically, you're probably getting a guy that's he's just going to be a 3-point shooter for you, and hopefully 36%. But the whole thing would be, we're instead of us giving you an actual pick, because we're not going to give you this year's pick because we might get Victor Wembanyama. We're not going to give you Victor Wembanyama. So what we'll do is, instead of us giving you a pick, 5 years from now or whatever, we'll give you PJ Washington because we have to pay PJ Washington anyway. You're taking on all that salary. You get a young power forward, small forward type guy that you have for the next several years. And you get to
keep free, essentially.
Yeah, and you get to keep your first. Yeah, you're basically just giving him away.
Yeah.
For taking on all the salary. And if you're the Lakers, I think you have to do that. Like I said, you get PJ Washington, who's he's a guy that you could have when your draft picks are due, or if you really want to, right? Like let's say Kyrie Irving does want to come to the Lakers next season. Well, now you got pieces that the Nets might actually want, right? Like, hey, you're gonna lose Kyrie Irving for nothing. We'll give you PJ Washington and Terry Rozier and a first for Kyrie Irving, right? If you're the Nets, that makes sense for you because you're not going to get anything anyway. So you get a first round pick, you get a young power forward that can play, and then you get PJ Washington, who's like a Kyrie, or not. You get Terry Rozier, who's like a Kyrie light, right?
Yeah.
So now you got that, and now the Lakers got Kyrie, Walker. They got basically the same roster, just with Kyrie now, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Like that could be better, or another piece, or you could take the first. Say a team really wants PJ Washington, and whoever Bradley Beal wants out, right? Well, now you could take you could sign and trade PJ Washington and take the 2 first and maybe Terry Rozier and send that. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just gives you options and flexibility, and you actually have players that teams might actually want, which helps also. So again, if you're the Lakers, like that, you can't say no to that deal. You just can't. Like, that's too good of a deal to turn down.
Yeah.
Way too good of a deal to turn down. What do you think about making a trade for a good center to try to allow AD to do a Kawhi approach the season and start set most of the season and stay healthy for the playoffs? The problem is you need AD because, like, even if, like, let's say
I kind of like that though, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do it like Kawhi Leonard because, one, you're not going to be deep enough. Like, the Clippers have the luxury of, like, they have an entire roster full of guys that play Kawhi Leonard's position, and they're like 15 players deep, right? Lakers wouldn't have that luxury, for one. And two, they, like, when they don't have Paul George, they're not very good. Like, they can win games against the bad teams because they're just deep enough, but, like, they're still not a playoff team as we've seen. So it would be the same thing with the Lakers. Like, with LeBron, yeah, you'd be pretty good probably, or you might not, because, like, LeBron and the team we have right now probably isn't a lock to be a playoff team.
But is this like a post Charlotte trade or like a post? Nah, I can't use like Indiana, but like a post.
Yeah, but that wouldn't
mean, Spurs or post. No, I know it would get. No, I know it would give you a center, but it would give you better role players, which in turn might help out.
You might not have to play the 40 minutes a game, which would be helpful, right? Like,
okay, so would that help out with like the Indiana deal or something like that? Like, let's say we got Turner. Just hypothetically going back to this, let's say we got Turner. Turner played the majority of the season, more minutes. We rested AD, prepped AD for the playoffs, and kind of kept him healthy. How would it work in that scenario, you think? Now that's granted that LeBron stays healthy, and it's also implied that we move Beverly and Nunn to get some more pieces.
Well, but that's my point. Is that, like, it depends? Like if you just right now, like, let's say we took Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and we traded for Miles Turner, right? Like, that would help. Definitely would help. But, like, if AD doesn't play from now till the end of the year, we might not even make the playoffs. Right? Like, so, like, legitimately. And so it's like AD would have to play a fair amount of games, and almost every game he plays, you have to win. That's the problem that the Clippers have, is almost every game that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard play, they have to win. Because if they don't, which luckily they almost do, but if they don't, then they end up missing the playoffs like last season. And so that's something we got to keep in mind as well. Like, AD has to play. Like, you're injury prone. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't.
How do they get away with that? The whole Kyrie, like, Kawhi, like, sitting for like the majority of the season. Like, how do they get away with that? I mean, I know that they do it because of injury reasons.
They have the second highest bankrolled team, and they're still not very good.
Right? No. I didn't mean like talent wise or production wise. I meant like, how do they get away without like the commissioner being like, all right, like, you're
because he's hurt.
What's the word? Well, he's hurt, but that's the thing though. He's hurt, and like quotations. I get like it's real injuries, but how much of that is like, hey, we're gonna coast this out so you're healthy during the playoffs, but you play all playoffs because we have a legitimate chance of winning. But it's like, you know what I mean?
You have a doctor signing off, like, there's nothing you can do with it.
Doctor sign.
But
it's also a team doctor that works for the team. So
you know what I mean? Well, and that's the thing. And like
that doctor gets a ring too.
You'll see players go get second opinions like that. Ben Simmons did that.
I was saying that doctor gets a ring too if they win. So
yeah, exactly. Right. Well, and like I said, Ben Simmons did the same thing, right? Like, Ben Simmons like went and talked to a doctor, and the doctor said, like, oh, he doesn't have to play. And so, like, even though the team's doctor was like, yeah, and then he went and was like, oh, well, I'll just pay this doctor over here, and that doctor was like, yeah, he can sit out. Like,
and here's the thing too, I'm not even trying to like with the Ben Simmons or any like injury like that. I'm not trying to like diminish the injury. I understand that these are real injuries, but like I'm asking, like, how much of it do you think is a little? And I'm like besides the Ben Simmons one, because like I believe that like mental health, like that's a real like thing, like you know what I mean. But like
to save you,
because I was like I don't want to touch on any.
I get what you're saying. Like here's the thing: is Kawhi Leonard is known since being a Spur.
Yeah,
he is known for being a guy that he will not play unless he is 120%. Like if he like that was the big problem in San Antonio. San Antonio and their doctors were like, Kawhi, you're fine, you're healthy, you're ready to go. And Kawhi Leonard was like, I don't feel like I am. And so
but that's my thing, though. That's the GM and the coach talking to Kawhi. Here's our plan. Here's what you're gonna go with. Here's the narrative. Let's run with it. And come playoff time, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like, there's nothing you can do about it.
I understand. I'm just
and look, if you're the Clippers, like as long as you make the playoffs and he plays in the playoffs, that's all you care about. The problem is realistically they're most likely never going to win anything. Like which is what has happened so far, right? Because Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they can't stay healthy. And when you're
so you can't rest the whole season to play the playoffs and expect the team chemistry and the rotations and the
if they weren't such a deep team, like if they weren't like legit 15 guys deep, they would be one of the worst teams in the league, even with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on their team, because those two guys almost never play. So
I don't know what's wrong with that team. Like they should have won. How many times have they should have won in the last like 7 years?
I mean, it's just like it's not much different than the Lakers right now, right?
Well,
like Anthony Davis,
but we won,
Leonard, Anthony Davis. We did, yes. I agree. Several years ago. But I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. Like
we haven't like since then it's been the same thing. And that year the Clippers should have, you could make an argument, the Clippers, it should have been the Lakers and the Clippers playing to winner goes to the finals to play the Heat. And it didn't work out like that. But what I'm saying, since then, you've had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George miss a majority of the season, and you've had LeBron James and Anthony Davis miss a majority of the season. So they're kind of the same team in the same boat. Like,
well, in that case, I'm not saying this is the case for us, but in that case, for the Clippers case, you know exactly what they need to do. They need to just,
I mean, they do. They need. They do. If so like I've even said it on As It Stands, which is like, for those that don't know, I have a mother channel, As It Stands, which is the one that started everything, started all these other channels. But I actually made a video on As It Stands where I asked, like, should the Clippers trade Kawhi Leonard? Like, and I really do believe they should.
No, I remember we talked about it on this stream too. Yeah. I mean, because if you look at like what you just pointed out, I mean, if we really dissect it, that's their, like you said, you have a deep team, but your two stars who carry the load can't stay healthy. You know what I mean? Take the Warriors. The Warriors are deep, but if Steph and Clay can't stay healthy, you have no team.
Yeah,
realistically,
it is. It's a problem. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. The Lakers can do New York deal for no picks, then take Russ and do Hornets deal for Hayward, Rozier, and PJ for no picks. The Lakers can keep their picks. What do you think? I mean, I wouldn't mind that either. You get Hayward, Rozier, PJ, and then you'd get what? Bev and Nunn for Fournier and Cam Reddish. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, that might actually be better. I just think like the Hornets would probably want you to take everyone, just because like if they're going to do that, they're going complete tank mode. Boom, tank it up. But it does make sense. Like if you don't get Kelly Oubre and you still have both your first and Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn. Honestly, at that point, if I'm being like, if we're really going to talk about this, go get Bojan Bogdanović is what you do. So you go trade Russ for Patrick Beverley, or go trade Russ for Hayward, Rozier, PJ, no picks. Then you have your first. You go take that. You know that the Pistons want an unprotected first. You take that unprotected first. You take Beverley and Nunn, and you go get Bojan Bogdanović. And now you got Bojan, Rozier, PJ, and Hayward. If you can't win a championship with those guys,
I was gonna say that covers your issues. Like you got the wing defense, you got the shooting, you got the scoring.
Even without AD, you're at least competitive enough to win.
You're competitive. I don't know about competitive enough to win a championship. You're competitive to get to the playoffs.
No, but you're good. Like you could beat some teams. Like
no
those
doubt.
three guys healthy, plus Bojan Bogdanovic and LeBron James is good. You have enough firepower, size, everything.
You could beat any team in the league. We could say that.
To beat any team in the league.
In a 7-game series, it might be a little tough.
Let's put it like this. You're probably a top 5 to 6 team without AD. You had a healthy AD to that team, you're probably the best team in the league, if not one of them. Granted, chemistry and health and all that stuff all is a part of it, but you're one of the better teams in the league. If that was to happen, another day, another Pat Bev start. I know it hurts. It hurts. I can't wait till they trade Beverly just so we don't have to see him start. But
as hard as it is to watch Bev, like he never takes a playoff. He's still just. I mean, look, it's the effort for me. That don't get me wrong. I want Bev gone, but you got to respect the guy. Like he'll shoot a shot and still he just looks like he's mentally in the game, but like his production is just not there.
If he wasn't making, $13 million, like if he was on a vet minimum contract, sure, sure, like no biggie.
How old is Pat Bev? Because it looks like it's an age thing. It looks like it's a. Hold on. How old is Pat Bev?
He's 36, something, 35.
Okay, so he's up there with LeBron. Yeah. So LeBron just turned 38. So
yeah.
Okay. So he's up there. So
yeah.
I'm not making excuses, but I'm just because I'm trying to figure it out. Because I'm like,
look,
this is not the same Pat Bev as.
I still don't hate the deal. Like a lot of people hate that the Lakers made that deal. I still don't hate that deal because it did a lot besides just trading for Patrick Beverly. It freed up cap space, cleared a roster spot, all of those things, right?
Not to mention gradually improved our defense.
But also another thing it really did is it gave us a more sizable tradable contract. So now we basically took, THT, which would have only gotten us so much, and turned him into basically, gave us an extra couple million to now take him and go get like a Bojan Bogdanovic or something like that. That's what it did. It did several things. It is the point. Like it did. It was in my opinion, an all around beneficial trade. But anyways, any last words before we get on out of here? Let everyone go watch the game and then do the post game stream.
No, I'm just watching the start of this game here. It's gonna be an interesting one. I'm very curious to see. Oh yeah, we do. But I'm very curious to see where this goes. LeBron shooting threes. Off to the start. Of course,
my horse. But anyway, for everyone that was here and hanging out with us, we appreciate it. Thank you all so very much being a part of the stream. Don't miss the post game stream. After the game's over, all of that stuff. And you guys are all awesome. We will see you all.
Oh,